Australian Open's taken Melbourne by storm this week, but there's another smash hit, and that, of course, is the Barclays Premier League.
So the Australian Open, it's going to be big the next week or so in Melbourne. We have special promotion here at the Sherlock. If you bring your Australian Open matchday ticket into here, then you can get yourself a discount Heineken to enjoy and watch the rest of the tennis. Hopefully some of the Aussies do well, although if Bernard Tomic does too well, his head might get that big that it explodes, and then we'll have to deal with that, which will be wonderful. Backpages are lovely. But on to the football now. First up is Liverpool versus Norwich. Liverpool struggled at first against Man United last weekend at Old Trafford, and then were a lot more plucky in the second half and pulled a goal back through new boy Daniel Sturridge, who hopefully settles in well at Anfield. Norwich were goalless last week at Newcastle, which was a decent result for them. Here I think Liverpool will be too good and they'll win 2-1. Then we have Man City hosting Fulham. City are looking to close the gap at the title with rivals United. Roberto Mancini has said if they can get it to about maybe 4 or 5 points come the Manchester derby in a couple of weeks, then it's very, very doable that they close that. According to David Silva, he thinks one more loss could cost them the title, which shows how tight it is at the top for those two clubs. Fulham, they're drifting south, really struggling as of late. I think City will win. It'll be 2-0. When we see Wigan play Sunderland, both sides of they're really battling to stay out of the cellar at the moment. Sunderland had a good 3-0 win last week. Seb Larson scored a brilliant goal from outside the box. Wigan have conceded 22 goals at home, which is a very leaky back. And of course, yeah, Sunderland beat West Ham. They should go on in good form. Sunderland to win 2-1. Next up is Newcastle hosting Reading. This is 2 AM on Saturday night, going to Sunday morning. Newcastle are missing Demba. He's gone to Chelsea, settled in really well there. They've dropped to 16th, the Magpies. Last season's foray all the way, nearly making into the top 4, looks very unlikely to be repeated this season. They want to stay up, if nothing else, but mid-table is where they're hopefully going to be able to sit for them. Reading had an amazing comeback last week through Pavel Pogba, back scored. They were 2-0 down and then ended up winning 3-2. Brilliant comeback. I think they'll get a point there, but it'll be 1-1. The next match sees West Ham hosting QPR. West Ham looked ordinary against Sunderland. They've been a really ordinary team on the road. They have only scored 5 goals away from home, which is the worst record in the Premier League. They're a lot better at home. Joe Cole has returned to his boyhood club. Looked really good in the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago against Man United. However, QPR did manage a 0-0 draw at Spurs, which was a bit of a back against the walls performance, but they did okay. I think West Ham will probably get up here, 2-1. Then we see Swansea host Stoke. Swansea were unlucky against Everton. They had a big 2-0 League Cup win over Chelsea the previous week. Michu is still he's such a boss, that guy. Just scoring goal after goal. Stoke, pretty ordinary against Chelsea last week. Lost 4-0. John Waters scored 2 own goals and skied a penalty late on. I think Swansea, who play really well down in Wales, that'll be a 2-0 win. West Bromwich Albion host Aston Villa this weekend. West Brom, very unlucky to go down to Reading, as I said before. But they have Romelu Lukaku, on loan from Chelsea, who is just scoring goal after goal. He's a big threat up front. Maybe the Blues will bring him back. It would make sense rather than shelling out millions and millions of pounds for someone like Carlisle. I'm not too sure. Villa, on the other hand, they're probably going to go down this year. I think they should, personally. That'll be 3-0 to West Brom. Next we see Chelsea versus Arsenal, the big London derby. Arsenal have the overall wood over Chelsea in terms of league wins. That's 61-45. An interesting rivalry, not as fiery as some of the other ones, say when everyone plays Tottenham from London, but always a big clash, with, especially in the last 10 years with these sides doing so well. Arsenal are pushing towards the top 4, but they have no Koscielny, who was sent off against Man City last week. Chelsea, on the other hand, big win at Stoke. I think they'll be too strong for Arsenal, and that'll be 3-1. Then Tottenham host Man United early Monday morning. Spurs couldn't quite score past QPR. Looked dangerous, but couldn't just find that one to go forward. They got Bale back. He's playing really well. United, on the other hand, Michael Carrick was immense in the midfield versus Liverpool. One of the better central mids, I think, in the Prem at the moment. Really, really well. Feeds Van Persie with some lovely balls. United are still very, very weak at the back. Struggled with it all season. More and more injuries. They lost Vidic and Young to injuries against Liverpool last week. Spurs did win 3-2 at Old Trafford, which was their first win in years away at United. And are unbeaten since the 9th of December. They've gone on a good little run just in the top 4. United have 26 away goals, which is the best in the league. I think they will score 2 and beat Spurs 2 goals to 1. Then our last match of the weekend sees Southampton hosting Everton. Southampton just out of the relegation zone, playing some interesting football. Everton, on the other hand, only have 3 losses this season, which is equal with United at the top of the table. But Jelavic continues to prove to be just a bit of an enigma. He seems to be able to go 60% of the game without doing a lot and then pops up and scores, which is handy, but I think he just needs to get a bit more involved for everything to really, really push. They're sitting 5th at the moment and could go further, but we'll see. If he fires, they can fire a lot better. And last week, Southampton somehow scraped past Villa. This week, though, I think they'll hold on to a draw. Down on the coast, that'll be 0-0. So that's us for another week. Come have a look at the tennis before it flows into the evening and the Premier League. We have Heineken on tap. It tastes really good. It does indeed. And do that. Don't forget to bring your ticket. Get a discount one. Come and have a look, and we'll catch you next week.